We've got our final game of the day coming your way, and it is Granit versus Dusty. Now, in fact, every analyst went for a Granit in this one. Dusty just
I see you
haven't
guys.
yet to live up to expectations with their 0% win rate. They did not have the best first week of the NLC, but of course, they have the caliber of talent that can bounce back. And the story of this week kind of has been bounce backing of teams that had a bit of a rough start. So, Dusty have had that week to reflect. As I said, we're only in the second week of the NLC, so we've got plenty more time to go. Is this the game that we think Dusty can kind of mount their comeback in this group?
I mean, predictions doesn't say so, right? So that's kind of that's kind of a ripsy. But if we are to theorize how they will come back, Dusty, in this one, I think it's going to come back to the laners actually pulling their weight. Chelm every time to me seems like the shining light on Dusty. But if you take a look at the just statistic of the rest of the laners, the CS per minute, the way they die, the way they play them out, they're just not as confident. And we've seen them lose out in counter matchup. I'm talking about flashes the most, and I think you need to improve yourself first as a player and then come around as the team about what you can do to actually help make the correct macro calls. But the thing with these players on Dusty is that we know that they are good and we know that they can perform. So it's just that first week probably was just a bit an oopsie for them and they need to bounce back. And now with the addition of Legions back, hopefully we can see a more clear picture of Dusty, because so far it's been a bit blurry coming out from them.
Yeah, and that's where I wanted to step on as well. It's the fact that Legions is back. Now the team is complete. This is the main roster. This is what they've been practicing with. So again, with a lot of teams, we've seen that, players are coming back. The main rosters are being complete on the second week. So not only do they have the time to reflect on what went wrong on that first week, now they have their complete roster as well, the one that they feel most confident with. And let's be honest, Legions is one of the more explosive ADMs that we have in the Nordics. So yeah.
Well, that's a Kaiser first pick.
It is. I was just
surprised.
I might be kind of in the realms of idiocy here, but Legions is on the team now again, obviously coming in, and Twisted Fate is open, and that is a big pick for Legions. It's something that we saw the LEC teams prioritize heavily. Now we know that Sahiro will take the Victor. He took it last time when he couldn't get his hands on Rise, so this was something that he defaulted to. But do we think Twisted Fate is a pick that could be seen in this game, given that we know Legions plays it so well?
Yeah, you could easily still pick it up here if you want to, but the question is that what you want to prioritize around? Because it's often out in a 1-3-1 and you need to know the setup as well. And right now, if you pick Twisted Faith, you're going to miss a lot of engage supports or some other tools instead, but they are going to go straight for the Syndra. Now, I want to highlight Sahiro a bit. He has the highest CS per minute in our league, sitting at 9.7, and he's starting that against mid laners like Hatrix as well. Like, he is extremely good at laning phase, and that's why I believe Granit has the edge today, because the laning phase from Dusty have been weak, and from Granit it's just been extremely good. So we can already see what's coming out from both teams here. They went for AD carry, they went for jungler, and they've went for their mid laners. But I prefer the jungle matchup between the Syndra and Graves here. It gets a bit more priority in the early game, and it gives some CC you can play around in the skirmishes.
So what I really like here from Granit is that how they have a lot of ground control, not crowd control, ground control. They've got the gravity field, they've got the distance that the Jhin creates with his roots, with his flowers, with his ultimate. They've got the Lilia that literally thrives on that, creates space, get the Lilia in, get the Lilia out, get all this damage from far away. So what I do like that Dusty has done is they pick the Syndra. I would also really like to see a Thresh for Pedersen. So individual pick-off scenarios when you're playing against a team that wants to create space between you and them is very key and very golden in these scenarios, because a Syndra E landing a Scout of the Week, a Q landing from a Thresh could be the pick of scenario where you just pick someone off and then you can make the entire engage, and then you can zone the opponent composition off.
So I kind of feel like an Alistar pick would be great coming out here. You've removed away the Leona, you've removed away the Galio, and now Gragas away as well. So that could leave Thresh open for Peterson as well. But it's a good front line to have on top of the champions you've already drafted, and you leave open a counter pick for the rest of your team. But let's see what they choose to go for, and let's see what the counter aspect is going to be for Dusty, because they are lacking a front line as well.
Oh, well, that adds a front line for Granit. They've got that set locked in. Can go to support, can go to the top lane, depending on the matchup. So they have that flexibility. They're still very intelligently not giving anything away and retaining more red side advantage here for Granit.
This is honestly so 5-head coming in from Granit. We talked about how they have the ground control with the Jhin, the Lilia, and the Victor. And it's like, oh, listen, if we sleep up and something does get into the backline, Set is going to be there to push it back out again and rinse and repeat. This is just so strong because does it not only provide peel for your team if something slivers through the backline to your carries, but it also provides you with an engagement tool where you can then suddenly open all of the ultimates and get them in. Now, again, I'm not sure here about Rel. I would like the more conditional engage with the likes of the Thresh and everything. It's also really strong with the Kai'Sa, but we'll see how it works here.
So I'm not here to just jump on the Gnar train and hate it, but that's very bold when the likes of Camille are still up that will outscale it, and when you already know they have a facilitating AD carry as Jhin there, but wow, they're actually going for the On instead, and that's just fine for Flaxius up there. He can still farm and chill, so this is going to be a very mid lane focused around and then driving around into the bot lane to get those skirmishes going around the objectives. So interesting drafts coming out from both teams here, but I kind of like what Dusty has got going for them as well.
All aboard the Granit train. Sorry, Scoundrel. They got the On, the long distance engage as well. This is just so well composed, honestly. This is so good. It also doesn't give now the chance to shine as much because On is one of the champions, one of the few champions in the top lane that will lose very gracefully. So you won't necessarily see the Na shining in that specific matchup.
I actually do like the Granit composition. I think they've got so much zone control and so much CC to protect for a Victor, and you know, they've got the elongated fights which they'll want to play for, right? And that benefits the Victor massively. So I think a lot of the success for this composition will lie on the head of Sahira. I think, you know, if you can get into a good position in these team fights, you know, I'm thinking Granit have set themselves up. And it's I would say it's a relatively easy comp to execute on as well. That would be my main thing to say. Is like when it comes to pure 5v5 capabilities, very easy. You know what you're doing. You're protecting Sahira. He's just firing laser after laser after laser, and that's supposed to be the way that, you know, you play those team fights out. I think though, you know, if you're looking at pure lane dominance, I'm wavering towards Dusty. That's where my thoughts would be. But look, let's round things up. Let's hand it up to our casters for the last game of the day. We'll see you very soon.
Thank you very much, Scoundrel. Getting ready to go into our fourth and final game of the day here at the NLC. Granit versus Dusty. Granit have been incredibly impressive. Genuinely just really, really impressive so far. We all underestimated them a little bit, and I think we're all aboard the hype train now.
Yeah, I do still have some concerns about the composition, though. I think the big thing for me is in the early laning phase, there's a lot of pressure from the mid jungle of Dusty. We have the Syndra, we have the Graves, and we have a triple AP topside from Granit. So if they start to fall behind, they can very quickly start to struggle in this game. It's rough. That's the thing I'm worried about. I think if they get to the later stages, their scaling is great and they'll really start to excel. It's just that early pressure. And we've seen things like Syndra into Victor before, and just how that extra priority can really allow a farming jungler like Graves to take over a game. So early game, Dusty need to take over, but if they don't, Granit should be in with a clear victory.
Yeah, I think the a game to look at was the game we just had with Fnatic, where they had that Graves, they had the lane priority, and he was just free to move around and completely deny Nulti any opportunities to farm, and it just put them so far behind. If Galban starts to fall behind the curve on the Lilia, and this Graves just continues to farm, stealing camps and just pulling further and further ahead, Galban's going to be in for a really, really rough game. Now, I'm curious to see what version of Lilia we get. We've seen a couple of different builds. As an AP jungler, we've seen a lot of people go towards the Moonstone and Staff of Flowing Water. But we could also expect to see maybe the likes of the Leandries, which is also I'm going to do the damage build.
Yeah, I think in this game, I'd probably prefer the Moonstone. I think you have plenty of damage from your composition. And especially in front-to-back team fights, that extra healing can really come in clutch. I think I'd probably lean towards that in this one. I don't think you necessarily need the damage, but we'll see. We'll see what ends up coming out. I can see this being a game where we end up having a very tanky Graves. I think Merc Tread's definitely a solid buy in this one. And I think if they get control of the top side of the map, they can very easily transition that bot side. And as soon as Mishiku gets shut down, that's kind of like your AD threat. And without that, you can really be in a rough spot. Well, again, comes down to Granit weathering the storm to a degree. I do think the bot lane still has a lot of strength in the 2v2 though.
Yeah. Definitely do. That's the Chaos, obviously wanting to play in those bushes. Curious if he's running the Hex Flash. What we do see sometimes out of these sets is they just flash out a bush, go for a combo, win the trade, and then don't mind trading flash for flash because they'll have that Hex Flash.
You'll see here he doesn't have Nimbus Cloak. We often see that a lot as well. Phase Rush, because then you go Nimbus Cloak, then you'd be able to Hex Flash and run at them, and then use speed to get out again. Very much more committal, but he's looking for a stun here.
Yeah, he's able to get a fair amount off. There's the shield. Rel actually, we didn't talk about this, but Rel's actually not bad into set support because she can turn the shield off, basically negating his W safety.
True, I've actually played this matchup. It was hilarious. You just save your Q. Obviously, he doesn't have it yet, but you save your Q for when he Ws, and it's auto lose, honestly. I think the other one that does that is Blitzcrank, and I played that matchup a lot, because whenever someone picks that, I just pick Blitzcrank, and it's like you just wait for that huge shield, ult, and they just insta-die, because it's so hard to, like, play around it, you know? You're so used to, like, going aggressive, and then when you have a big W, popping it, but it just makes you so vulnerable. You have so much less safety, and similar thing with Rel, and I feel like now that Pedersen is set level 3, if Dr. Chaos goes for another trade like that, he's just going to get queued, shield down, you lose.
Yeah. Pretty hard. Now we are seeing the support they're able to offer their jungle does mean that Galban is going to lose up a little bit of his chicken camp. Shelm actually going to look to start smite steal that one away, and I didn't actually see if he picked it up or not, but now Flaxish looking for Galban. Galban has the flash, able to eat away to safety.
He did get that one. Galvan had like a second before his smite was up, so Chum was able to take it away. And yeah, bit of pressure coming out from Legion. It's not a huge amount. It's not like Shahira wasn't able to walk over, but Chilm able to apply some really pressure in this game. Double Scott Ling and stealing the camp, so definitely the start you want. And now Galvan doesn't have anything else to farm after these Krogs, whereas Chilm still has 2 camps up on the bot side, and his Grump is spawning. So a lot more options for him. I think you know what makes Rel's shield breaking so strong? Is if you think about the other champions that break shields, like Renekton and Blitzcrank, their abilities that break the shields have other functions, right? Blitzcrank's ult silences, does a ton of damage. Renekton's W stuns. But the thing with Rel is a Q, like, it's a filler ability, you know? You don't actually do that much with it, so you can hold it really easily.
Doesn't it steal armor as well?
Yeah, but I mean, for your autos, so it's not really that, like, it's fine not to ever use it and wait for the shield. But the thing is, like, with Renekton, like, we've seen Renekton playing into, like, set before, and it's kind of like, well, if I don't W, then I don't stun him, but if I W, then he's just going to have his shield afterwards.
Well, yeah, the other shield breaking abilities are situational in the sense for is it a charged Renekton W that breaks the shield, or just a regular one? Yeah, so you have to have your Fury Bar charged up.
But even then, it's just like
6, and then you have to be willing to burn your ultimate. But like you're saying, yeah, you can kind of just throw it out like that.
But that's what I mean. Like you can throw it at any time, and I think that's the thing with Renekton is if you're never using your stun of Renekton until they shield, you know both of you are kind of like handicapped in that situation.
Yeah.
Whereas with Rel, like Pedersen can just hold it forever because it does so little damage. You max it last, I believe, definitely not first. And it makes things really difficult because you expect when I see sets, I think I want to see them jumping in, slamming people against minions, and going aggro, and you just can't. You really cannot in this matchup.
Dusty now 700 gold up. Sorry, 600 gold up. The gold ticks at the same time. Getting himself this first dragon 6 minutes into the game will be the Infernal. Gives a little bit of bonus AD and AP to work with. And Granit not really being able to find too much for themselves here right now as Michigan just catching this wave underneath his tower. Zahira actually down in CS quite significantly to Legions at this point in the game.
It's a rough early matchup. A lot of pressure from the Syndra in the early levels, so paying a little bit of respect in that regard.
What are we looking for on the side of Granit then? What's the kind of break point we've got our eyes out for?
I mean, I think, you know, Victor normally 2-3 items is a really good spot. I think Jhin has like a similar spike. I think if they get to that point and they're even in gold, they're actually pretty comfortable to start taking team fights. It's basically like if the things I'm concerned about are Dragon Soul, because obviously Dusty already got 1 dragon, likely going to look to pick up that second and keep chaining them. And on top of that, it's just like big gold leads. So if they can avoid either of those becoming an issue before they've started to hit their power spikes, Granit are in a great position. If Granit can get ahead of gold or pick up a dragon, even better. But it remains to be seen.
All right, well, lane swap's coming out just as the Rift Herald starts to spawn up. Dusty will be ahead of the curve on this one. Granit are matching, though. They're rotating their bot side over. So everyone leaning towards this side of the map, and we might see a bit of a fight for the Rift Herald. Dusty obviously do have the easier way into the pit as the opening is on their side. Or at least facing their side of the map. Galvin does have 6 here, so Dr. Chaos actually jumps forward, tries to get the CC down, and that means Galvin unable to actually jump in and do too much to help the day there. Michigan now level 6, Dr. Chaos now level 6, so these ultis have been hit, and Granit Nova Dusty are on this. The ward was cleared out, the laser beam's coming down, and Legion's actually chunked out, gets caught himself out for the moment. They've got the little thing Lullaby to put him to sleep as he is in the first blood. Secured out in the 1-for-1 so far, but a big Horn is going to knock up multiple members, and Sahira has to flash away, but Hoyes jumps onto the backline with the ulti, and Flaxish looking for the Gnar back.
Oh, the Gnar?
Can he find it? Gets the big one, and this is just Dusty mopping up 4.
Decimating victory there for Dusty. Ultimately, the Gnar coming in, delivering once again from Flaxish. We're going to see a replay of that, so initially you can see Legions in a little bit of a rough position. They decide to commit, but the TPs are instant. And they just end up in this massive mix. Beautiful damage combo from Pedersen that allows the Graves to get all of his combo down. And then you'll see at this point, Granit know they need to get away. They know there's no real option there, but Flaxish is chasing them down. Hoyes gets that kill, and then the slam just guarantees a 4-for-1 in the early game. And you know, Jake, you asked me not too long ago, what did Granit need for this game?
Not that.
Not that.
That was definitely what Dusty wanted. We talked about it at the beginning. They wanted a good start to the game. They wanted to get a chokehold on the map and kind of deny Granit any opportunity to get these multiple items on the Victor, let the Jhin farm up and get him strong. That's exactly what they wanted. Double kill on T'Chelm and 2 assists. 4 assists for Flaxish. Hoy's getting some gold from his input as well.
You needed the patient play there. Realistically, you saw Legions in a rough position and you got greedy. Did you need to go for that play? Absolutely not. Because the thing is, I see this situation happens often where like a team will have a scenario where they can sacrifice something. And if they do, it puts them in a worse position. So instead they try and fight it, and then they lose the fight and the objective, and they end up just in an absolute pit. And that's what happened there. If they just let the Herald go, potentially gone for something on the other side of the map, potentially just applied some pressure, got some vision, or some priority or a plate, they wouldn't nearly be in as bad a position.
Yeah.
But now they just gave a ton of gold to that Graves, and honestly, they had an okay early game managing the pressure, but Granit kind of just gave a big advantage there. It's definitely not insurmountable, but it does make things more difficult.
Ten minutes on the clock, the gold lead. Still only 1,000. Could be worse, but they've still got this Rift Herald. They've got plates to take, and I think the gold lead's about to grow pretty significantly as Dusty rotate multiple members here to this tower. And if they can get this plate off in time, or at least enough damage to it, they might be able to secure themselves first turret blood. Not going to be the case. Dr. Chaos flash. I think that was a Hex flash over the wall. With the dragon spawning up, though, Dusty looking to pick this one up. Legions might just look for the scat of the week. One of the things we didn't talk about is the Graves Syndra combo is really, really nasty. It's one of the comps we've seen quite a lot where it's just you don't get to play. The scat of the week hits, and then Unleash Power, Graves burst, and you just die.
Yep. I mean, that's the power of this 2v2. That's why it's able to apply so much pressure.
I had Jamada going off about it. He's a fan in the way, but he's not a fan of it.
I think what was beautiful as well in the last fight was Pedersen being able to lock down with his ultimate, so Graves hit his entire combo. Yeah. And when it's squishy members, they just get absolutely shredded. Do you see the Moonstone picked up for Galbin here? So is going towards that build, which I think is the right decision. But yeah, definitely a while away. You can see Sahara, if you look at those items in the inventory, that's not exactly late game fantasy or anything at this point.
Well, Flaxish. It's a light trade from Tomaz, but it's about to gnar out, and Tomaz has to be so careful. Looking at the build on Flaxish, we might see a Divine Thunderer come out from him.
I think it's decent in this situation. I think Stridebreaker is okay, you know, but I don't think it does much for you in lane.
Oh, yeah, Stridebreaker is also Phage, isn't it?
Yeah, so it could still be added. I think Stridebreaker is definitely better for team fights, being able to get that extra dash essentially in the slow, really good for setting up ults. But if you want to be a split push threat, Divine Sunder is really strong. The percentage HP, great against Dawn and the sustain as well, really powerful.
Well, you do see Galban able to steal away a blue buff, get an invade. He's actually equal in farm to Chelm. Obviously, if we do a quick toggle on the gold, it's actually only 100 between him and Chelm so far. So honestly, a lot better than I expected, considering the amount of input Chelm has had for his team. But Chelm only has one camp left to farm at the moment, so not really going to be too much further ahead right now over Galban.
I mean, the goal difference isn't massive at this point. The thing I am concerned about is the dragons are racking up. They are going to force Granit to contest. Possibly this third one might end up being the fourth. That's what worries me a bit, but yeah, there's still potential for Granit to make it back into this game.
Oh, Flaxish, can he get the Gnar in time? Gets knocked up, but he does have the ulti into the wall. Has to flash away. Tomaz played that so well, dodging with the flash. Meanwhile, we are seeing a bit of skirmishing breaking out here. Galvan gonna put everyone to sleep with the sleepy bye-bye time, and Dr. Chaos is slamming down as the curtain has been called. Hoyes is gonna take a couple of shots over the wall, and Granit find a kill. Tomaz, no ultimate available to him, so can't really go for anything else here as the Swirl Seed goes a little bit wide. Granit find themselves a cheeky pick.
I mean, Dusty went aggressive there and just over-aggressive, over-commit onto a play. They didn't need to do. They didn't need to go for that one. They forced way too deep in the enemy jungle, and the setup was perfect for Dusty. I mean, for Granit, sorry. Dusty, honestly, lucky they only lost as much as they did. It could have been a lot worse there. You know, I also don't understand.
Okay.
Look, if you look at Lilia and you look at Victor, look at their boots, right? Merc Treads, yeah?
Yeah.
That's fine. But why have Dusty, when you have triple AP topside, why have they not invested in the Merc Treads?
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, they haven't finished those boots, but early Merc Treads definitely would have been nice.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just... If you're making these topside plays, it just completely shuts down their damage. Their CC is so much less relevant.
Yeah.
I guess maybe they're focused on completing these items, but at the end of the day, it's like a little bit of MR goes a long way when you're against triple AP.
Interesting itemization there. Blue buff's going to be handed over to Sahara, sorry.
One of those is a mid laner, one of those is a desert.
All right. I want to talk to you a little bit, Hawks, about this. Is something that has been bugging me.
It's always concerning when you say, all right, because I'm like, oh, God.
Here we go. Crit champions. Any champion, like ADs, anyone who builds crit, got spoiled preseason. They got Collector, which gave them lethality. They've obviously got their Mythics, which is their own ball game. We'll talk about that on another day. But like, QSS is now a crit, builds into Merc, which is crit. They get an armor shred crit item. There's so many crit items at the moment.
Yeah, but they all give less crit than they did before. That's why there's still many, because there's a lot of flexibility, but like there's less crimes than before. I mean, they give less crits. Sorry, there's more items, but they give less crits. Like that to make up for it. I think Gale Force is a real spoiler thing. You got to remember, like during the preseason, we had that period where AP champions are broken. Remember when like Leandy's Demonic Embrace, which is like turbo strong.
Yeah.
We had that period where tanks were incredibly broken because Sunfire was overtuned. Everyone got a little bit of time, but 80 carries managed to make it out the preseason and still under broken. So really, they're the main
benefit.
Mumu,
which was a mixture of the best of both worlds, where you had the Sunfire and a Demonic, and he would be unkillable while also having stupid health.
Yep, and doing a ton of damage.
I still think Crit Champions got spoiled. But we'll go back to this game as Dusty are looking to pick up their third dragon, but Granit looking to contest. Michigan all alone.
Actually, he's stacking the Narbonne. He's on the flank. This could be...
Oh, this could be big. The curtain calls coming down. So here actually keeping them away for the moment. Dr. Chaos gets the slam down. Health bars are low on both sides. That's a big laser beam. Enough for a shutdown. At least the kill as Hoyes loses his life. The lilting lullaby will lock them down and chill. Almost killed by the death ray. Able to dodge away on it as the dragon's been picked up.
Albert.
Here comes the slow. The swirl seed does connect into the deadly flourish. Just a little bit too wide by Michigan. So here are going to be able to make his way out of that one.
Massive win there for Granit. Not only do they get the team fight advantage, but they also pick up the dragon, denying that soul point. So first, I'm going to pay attention to Flaxius on the flank. So here it turns around and instantly just stops his approach, which allows his play to go ahead. Dusty on a really compromised position against that wall. So much siege coming down from Mishigu. The long-range damage from the Jin and the follow-up from the Victor is massive. And Flaxius, he was trying to get his knob already, and he was on a perfect position for a flank, but Sahara really carried this fight with clutch lasers and denying Flaxius' approach. Great play, and honestly, this has brought a lot of time. Granite now even in gold, and with denying that dragon away from Dusty, they've given themselves time to scale up.
Yeah, honestly, really good stuff from them. They did obviously lose their mid tower tier 1, but outside of that, there's only one turret that has fallen down this game, and the gold is now 500 between the teams.
Oh,
That lead is pretty much spread out. It's not even like a 500 lead individually on a member. It's just pretty close across the board, so not really going to mean anything significant in that terms. And as we talk about to the items, we can see where we're at. Kraken Slayer finished off onto Hoyes, Gale Force onto Michigan. Pretty much everyone's rocking their mythic, bar Pedersen.
I think this is still a point where Dusty are like in the driving seat.
Yeah.
But as time goes on, it's going to become more and more difficult. Do pick up that top lane tower, going to put them about 1,000 gold ahead. But it's about translating this into more. Ideally, the next objective, this bot lane tower, the Flaxius is looking towards. Do have Baron up on the map, so they can't commit too heavily to the bot side right now.
Feels like the, like you said, it's Dusty in control, but they have taken their foot off the gas a little bit. After that dragon play, losing themselves potentially soul point. Remember, it is an Ocean Soul as well, so both these teams are going to love that. And if Granit do somehow pull that out, get the 4 Ocean Soul, 4 Ocean Drake Soul, they are going to have mad healing.
Yeah, I mean, the game would be over long before then. Not over as in the game's ended, but as in the game would be doomed. Because if they get into that point, then really, I'm not sure what Dusty are doing. But again, things are slowing down, which does favor Granit. The pace is slow, gives them time to scale, gives them time to get items. Do you see pings coming out? They are looking to get control of this dragon area, but because Granit picked up the first one, it bought them an extra 5 minutes before Soul.
Oh, the blue buff resets, and Sahara not able to pick that one up. Legion steals it with a cheeky cute.
Was that Legion's the lowest Chilm we got with a smite? Yeah, it was Chilm. Look,
Oh,
you can see on
sorry.
the buff.
I got baited by the fact Legions has one as well.
Yeah, Chilm got
see
the
it now.
fresh. He's rocking the fresh blue. Gave his own to his mid laner. But yeah, they are trying to get some setups for control around the dragon. But honestly, that push was cannonball for the blue buff. You can still see so much vision. Like, there's a ward in the pit. There's a ward, 2 wards in the river. They haven't really secured anything there, which is kind of a bit lacking. Dusty need to clear out the vision, because I think that was the critical thing, is that Granit knew exactly where they were, knew how to approach, and were able to contest that dragon. If Granit get this next dragon, then really that soul win condition, you're not looking at it till 32 minutes, which is miles away. Game could be in a completely different state by then. So
Yeah.
really tentative right now, and Dusty need to write the course of this game. They need a fight that they can win.
You see the vision starting to get set up. Granite are the ones who currently have control of that River at the moment. There's a couple of pink wards and a couple of shy wards placed here and there. Dusty now are going to take this opportunity to move in and try to clear out some of this vision. However, not going to commit too much here. Don't want to walk into complete fog of war, though Granit have kind of shown their whereabouts by showing up as a group mid lane. They are just going to re-clear the wards out themselves, and with the dragon spawning, teleports available, I'm expecting some skirmish. Look at Flaxish as well. He's not in the sleepy mode now, so he is looking to build that one up. Teleports are going to come in from Zahira. And Dragon's been started. Already going pretty low, Chelm. Seeing if he can get the steal away. Is put to sleep. He's got himself a level lead. The teleport's coming in, and that's going to be the dragon secured. Neither smite used, but Pedersen looking for the magnet storm onto multiple people. Does able to pull him in. Here's the Ornhorn. Here's the knockup. Granit are just walking away with the fight. Flaxish gets a 4-man knockback, though, but he's already low. He's already running away from the team. The lasers are not doing enough, and Flaxish is just going to run to the wind. About to time out, but Sahara comes forward, and with one last death ray will fry him for the kill. Granit get the dragon and get the team fight.
You see TP coming in from Legions. They're concerned about Granit going for a Baron, but realistically, Granit don't need to at this point. Oh.
Unleash power into Deadly Flourish, into Hoyes. Hoyes is looking for Tahira. Can he get him? A couple more autos and he's going to get it. The shutdown's there, but they trade out 2 for 1.
Could this be it? Is this enough? 2 members left on the side of Dusty. And they're feeling confident with the 4v2. They're going to start the Baron. This could be it. Throw. Cost Dusty the game. We'll see if Legions and Pedersen are able to contest this one, but it's going to be difficult.
Well, Dr. Chaos is here to zone everybody away. Dusty itching to hold this. There's a good scout of the week by Legions. Connects onto Mishigu, and now he might actually be in for a little bit of hurt here. Pedersen looking for the pierce with the Q. Lilting Lullaby is going to get a little bit of damage in, and Legion scatters free away, but Galvin will cook him down with a passive and find the kill. Baron thwarted, though.
Yeah,
will sacrifice Legions.
It was a success for Dusty to stop that Baron, but overall that play was so in favor of Granit. Gonna see a replay there, and I mean, the Dragon's already gone here, so Dusty are just desperate in this situation. They've lost the Dragon. They're like, let's go for a fight, but the angle's not even great. You can see Pedersen's not able to get a good approach, and Dr. Chaos buys so much time. Even when Flaxish comes in with an R-roll, the rest of Dusty are already chunked out. They're not able to get close. And just Tahira and Mishigu, basically full HP after the break of that fight, able to just put so much damage down. And these carries being unthreatened means they can just run away with the fight. This was a little bit of an interesting one, I'll say, but ultimately Granit still come out ahead. Sahira surviving for so long. Chimeric gets Chilm gets blown up so quickly there. Just again, messy from Dusty. And the critical thing is they missed out on that Dragon. Gold is even. Scaling favors Granit. Where's the pressure going to come now? Dusty needs something to happen because that Soul Wing condition, as I said, is pretty much out the window at this point.
Oh no! If that Void Seeker hit, I actually think he would have died. He is incredibly squishy.
Yeah, this W.
Upgraded onto Mishigu, by the way, so he has had his ornament handed out.
It's looking rough. I mean, they're looking for picks, and it's the right call, but it feels kind of desperate.
Yes, it does indeed. Magnet Storm on cooldown for a little bit longer as Pedersen will eat a Swirl Seed. Look at that gold graph. That's probably the most interesting gold graph we've seen in a while. A small, quick burst upwards, but then shot straight down.
Is that a bug?
I don't know.
It seems so weird.
I hope it's not, but it
I
could
don't
be.
think I don't think we've had a point where, like, I guess maybe it's just because it's such a small difference. Like, because the goal difference is so small, it was like,
yeah,
that it looks massive, but it was just a small one. Graphs are hard, man.
It's zoomed in right now.
Yeah.
Sahira will take a Void Seeker from Hoyes, but Hoyes smart enough not to jump into that, not like we saw earlier on in the day.
Yeah, double oceans coming in clutch here, and in these choke points, Victor is king.
So is Orn as he pulls out the horn, looking for the knockoff onto Chelm. Chelm will take it as the curtain call is being fired off. Chelm takes 1 shot, takes 2 shots, and 4th hits onto Flaxish. Tomaz just going to tank that Void Seeker, and Dusty trying to get some mid lane control for themselves, but
Still a big
Hero's
cools
doing
down.
so much damage. That laser just chunking about a third of Legion's health bar away. And remember, Granit still have double ocean, so they have a bit of regen to work with here. As Legion's now half health, and honestly, I don't know if he can even step up anymore.
Things are just getting more and more dire. Gonna head over to the Dragon and Dusty. Difficult to see how they're gonna approach this one. TP's coming from Legions. He's off the side.
Yeah, looking for that intro. There's going to be the ultimate onto Zahira. Zahira has to go golden. Everybody's there. Dusty looking to mop up. No, they've got the kills. They've actually got what they need to work with here. The slam back. Hoyes is low. Hoyes is out. He's able to get himself away. And Dusty are picking up members left, right, and center. Granit only keep 1 alive. And it's a 4 for 2 in favor of Dusty. They're onto soul points.
Got to see the value of the Rel there. Pedersen finds the engage finally, and they're able to get the Dragon as a result. We'll see a replay of that here. So a beautiful scat of the week coming in from Legions with the combo from the Rel. All that damage being loaded down and Hoyes diving in. And essentially Sahira goes down, Mishigu goes down. And with those two off the table, it's very difficult for Granit to win a fight from here. They do try, they do get Hoyes, but ultimately they're not able to carry through, and it ends up being a 4 for 2 overall. And Dusty managed to get back on track with the Dragons. It's still far later than they'd like it to be with them on 3 Dragons, but they're showing that they can win a team fight if they get that backline access. That's a critical thing. You get on those backline carries, and that's how you can have a hope.
Definitely a very back and forth game, and I think it's making for quite an interesting one to close out on. We were expecting Singularity and Fnatic to be a very tight-knit game, very explosive, but ended out being very just Fnatic favored. It's incredibly Fnatic favored. So
Wait,
nice to end on a more
Fnatic winning in the NLC?
cool
Wow.
game, unheard of.
I've never seen that.
To be fair though, XL are stacked.
True.
And I know we say this every year, but this XL is incredibly stacked. I think
they need to stop regurgitating these storylines, though.
Yeah, I know,
honestly.
right?
Slightly less than 2,000 is the lead for Dusty. And this game just feels like it's been a Dragon waiting room. It's just like, oh, is Dragon up? No? Okay, let's farm. Dragon up? No, let's farm. Is Dragon up? Okay, let's fight. Repeat. At least they know what they're prioritizing.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give him that. This mid lane turret still standing is giving Dusty such a nice, like, safe point to hide behind. Hoyes can play far up in the lane without support because he can just run back to tier 1.
Ooh, no. So I think going to the next team fight, critical thing is we're going to have Flash for Sahira and Mishigu. A lot of flashes unavailable for Dusty. Legions down, Hoyes down. I think Legions will be up in time, but actually Hoyes will as well. So those flashes will be available where the Trident Dragon is. It's crazy that, right? Dragon spawn is 5 minutes and flash cooldown is 5 minutes. So, you know, crazy how that works. But we'll have those summons available. But I think the critical thing is Sahira and Mishigu finding a better approach into the fight. Finding an angle where they can escape that engage coming out from Pedersen is going to be the critical thing. Front to back favors Granit.
Rapid fire cannon picked up for Hoyes. Interesting one there. Normally we see the Hurricane or Phantom Dancer. I haven't seen the rapid fire cannon pick up.
Yeah, that was some good burst, I guess. I know people have talked a lot about Phantom Dancer instead of Runans. I haven't seen as many people talk about the whole rapid fire approach. Guess we'll see how it goes. 1 minute 30 on the next dragon will be Soul. And I think for Dusty, they were a team who I think last split very much looked like they had a lot of potential. I think a lot of people looked at Dusty as a dark horse for the tournament, and they just never really found their footing. They have a lot of the components from their previous roster, and they definitely got off to a rough start. So being able to overcome Granit, I think if you came into the start of the split, I would kind of expected Dusty to beat Granit. But I think at this point now, we've all come in weighing in on Granit, looking as a stronger team. This is a big win for Dusty.
Really is. Oh, he's building towards that Infinity Edge as well. Now got the pickaxe and the BF sword in the inventory. So, like you said, Dragon Waiting Room coming up fairly soon. Probably will be some action. Dusty are going to get control of the midway first, shove it deep in, and now they're free to move into this river and get the control. They've got the Scuttle Crab already there for a bit of additional vision to work with. This is going to force Granit to walk away.
Vision is critical in this situation.
Oh, Galben.
A lot of damage. Does have the sustain though, thanks to the Moonstone. Unfortunately, doesn't really do much for yourself, but there is a double ocean and that honey fruit you can grab.
Tahira? Legions goes for the unleashed power. So
Mega
run away. Here comes Flaxfish. He's about to gnar out. Tahira just gets walloped, just gets absolutely slammed back. There's the gnar into the wall. Everyone is blinded and everyone is low. Dr. Chaos tries to scatter the fight, but he's unable to do so. Hoy survives through absolutely everything and finds himself a double kill. Dusty will turn this into the dragon. Oh, okay. Now they're going to turn it into the dragon.
I think Dusty saw that and they're like, do we go dragon? No, let's end. And then Michigu presses Gale Force on auto and nope, let's go dragon. We'll see the replay. So here, Tahira's kind of split off from the team and they just say go. You see Flax just ready with the Mega Gnar, jumps in, Zhonya's comes out, but it's just not enough to really do anything and they're able to turn it around. I mean, that's the critical thing we talked about. Get the backline access. They crushed Tahira even with the flash. And then Michigu is just not really even in the fight.
Well, the dragon was picked up. There was a moment during that replay where I thought Michigu and Tomaz had overstepped. Poise not having ultimate probably saved Michigu's life there, to be honest.
Tamoz, not Tomaz.
Tomaz, sorry.
No, Tamoz.
Tamoz. I don't know why I call him Tomaz. I'm seeing a circle and reading it as an A.
just the fact you're like, Tomaz, sorry. No, that's what it isn't, Jake. Get it together. It's only day one, dude.
Oh, Lord.
Ocean Soul.
Tamoz, I am sorry. I'm not doing it deliberately. Just sometimes my head doesn't work. Most of the time.
Ocean Soul on the side of Dusty definitely gives him a lot of power, but it's kind of at that point where if you're not punishing Tahira, he's going to do a ton of damage. You do see Dusty posturing around this Baron, trying to get control. Oh, Legions.
He's got
There's no 1v1 with the Baron. Yeah, he's got Ocean Soul. He's got Honey Fruit.
Honey Fruits. I don't think you needed the Honey Fruits, but he'll take them.
He'll take them. You see Granit a little bit concerned. Respecting the power of the Ocean Soul. As long as they're making sure that Dusty aren't doing the Baron, they're kind of fine to weather the storm on this one.
Level 17 on the Orn. A lot of the ornaments have been handed out
Level
already.
18 now.
18 now, as I say it. The Moonstone's the only one not to be upgraded. Actually, so is the Sunfire.
The Sunfire automatically upgrades, doesn't it? I think it might be a visual book.
So it's definitely not upgraded.
But it's Orn's.
Yeah, that's weird.
I'm pretty
That is
sure.
actually really
I
weird.
think it's just a visual bug.
Yeah, that must be.
Because I'm assuming he will have upgraded Galvin's, but even
Because
that,
you get
that
your
that's
one
a
at level
possibility.
13.
Yeah, it automatically upgrades. Didn't change that. Okay, no, I think now he's going to upgrade Galvin's, but I'm pretty sure Owen's or upgrades automatically.
Actually, just looks like there's a brute force happening from Dusty. Tamal's not getting the opportunity to sit still and upgrade that Moonstone. Dusty still trying to control the tempo right now. Flaxis jumps forward and Tamal's going to take a pretty decent chunk of health out of him. Not anything too threatening. I may overestimated how much damage Flaxis was capable of doing there. All horn available as well, so keep that in mind.
Oh, now's the time. I don't know. Oh, yeah, he's doing it now. There you go.
What is the
There's the
Moonstone
proof.
called upgraded?
Why are you asking me? Why do you honestly think I would know that information?
Starcaster. I like that. That's a cool name. I don't know. I thought you write guides or something, don't you?
Not Orn. No one cares about Orn. How would you play Orn? Press your ult, knock people up.
Do stupid damage in lane. It's all fun.
Yeah. Just don't lose lane too hard. Old people.
Yeah, you know, as Gulborg says.
Yeah, Observer, can you mouse over this on fire? I want to see if this is what it's saying. Like, is it bugged or? Yeah, so it is
it's the forge
upgraded.
fire,
It is
okay.
bugged.
That's a weird visual bug.
It was just the way you were like, no, he hasn't upgraded it, and I'm like, bro, it's Orn's item.
I don't know why. I was like, I looked for the icons and I was like, weird.
What a selfless Orn upgrades everyone else's items before his own. All right, back on point.
Don't
Slow
worry,
game
mate, you got time. There's Dragon's not up for a minute, and that's when
Yeah,
the
I
team
gotta
seem
set
to
the
only
stakes
fight.
for the dragon. But yes, you're correct. That's what I was gonna say. It's been very slow in between objectives. Both teams kind of just waiting for dragons. So, Elder Story gonna complicate things. There's obviously Baron is also on the card, so kind of a back and forth with where they want vision on these two. Looks like
Wait,
Dusty
hold
looking
on.
for an engage.
They are just going straight
The
in.
Mega
Gale
Gnar.
Force dash. Here's Flaxis. He has ultimate. He's looking for Michigan. Michigan flashes away. Looking for the slam dagger. Dr. Chaos running into Runt. Everybody is called back for the moment as the Orn Horn lands the knockup. Galben isolated. Has to jump away from Hoys and Legions. But Hoys will just cook him alive. Galben is mopped up by Chelm. And Flaxis being chased off by Zahira on the top side. Flaxis able to jump over the wall, but Zahira not done. He is chasing him down. The Deadly Flourish locks him in place, and Flaxis is going so low, trying to heal up as much as possible. That Divine Thunderer doing a lot of damage. And Flaxis is out! Zahira continues to chase the slope, but the boomerang is there. And how did Flaxis live?
The healing from the Divine Thunderer coming in clutch there, able to survive to get us hop back. Elder Dragon now the focus though. No jungler for the side of Granit, but Dusty on the other side of the map.
Yeah, I had to go for a bunch of resets. Legions teleporting in. Got the death
Hop
cap. Got
You hear that
four
potion
complete
noise?
items.
Things are getting spicy.
Oh, Chum!
Well,
Oh.
that was the shortest lived ward.
Hit by
I've
the
ever
Dudley
seen.
Flourish. Chelm goes pretty low there. Hoy slides in for Zahira. Has to go gold in the middle of everything. The Orn Horn has been thrown out, and that will be the shutdown. Give it over to Michigu. Flaxis looking to run away as Dr. Chaos comes in for the slam. A double kill for Michigu now on the Jin. And there's only two of Dusty standing. Elder is up, but they don't even want to fight for it. Dusty just got too greedy, and Granite have taken their opportunity. Flaxish has ult, has his Gnar form available, but I don't think he's going to be able to do anything here. There's still 30 seconds plus until Dusty's AD carries back, until Hoys can take to the Rift. Inhibitor will fall.
And
Game
both
won't
neutrals.
close, but the pings are going down. They want to fight right now for this Elder.
I mean, they could just take both of them. Dusty don't have the damage to do the Baron quick enough. Granite can just get both of these neutral objectives and be in such a winning position. I hope they're quick. I want to see a replay of that play from Hoys. Bit of an oopsie daisy, but yeah, I mean, this is a dragon. Yes, we get the replay. Let's go. Okay, so this was the earlier fight. The execution not quite as good here. Michigu has the Gale Force and the Flash to get away, and you can see as soon as it engages botched, Black just regrets his decision. Pedersen tries to buy some time, but ultimately they're unsuccessful. Pedersen very quickly goes down as a result, and it gets messy after that. We saw Flaxius buying a lot of time. It doesn't eventually go down in the end.
We need to get out of this replay.
Yeah, Baron,
because Baron's been started up by Dusty. You've got a
Granit
full build
reset.
Kaiser. This thing is melting. Galvin's in the area. That is just going to be the Baron secured. Trade of objectives. Granit with Elder. Dusty with the Baron. Sidewaves pushing currently in favor of Dusty. So it is just kind of going full ARAM right now for Granit. Tamos has his ultimate up. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's hard to pressure like this. It's hard to just try and brute force. You don't have Baron minions, so they're getting shredded. And you can't really dive double Nexus towers. So I'm not sure what the game plan is from Granit, but this isn't it.
They recognize that, and they step away. Stopwatch finished up onto Legions, obviously looking for Zhonya's as his last item, but wants the survivability for now from the Stopwatch.
No, they're fishing.
They are fishing, and they are spotted. Void Seeker was incredibly clutch for them.
You know, that's one of the things that always bothers me about Kai'Sa. It's not just the fact that, you know, all the stuff she has in her kit. It's the fact that her W is just such a long range and could just be used for vision in so many scenarios.
Yeah. I still love watching Kai'Sa. I know she's had a lot of play competitively.
I find
but
it hilarious.
So much fun to watch.
That just seeing Kai'Sa's flying to 4 people with the ultimate, as we saw Hoy's doing a bit earlier this game, it's just there's some hypey moments you definitely get, but sometimes I'm just like, why? What was the game plan?
Well, Lilting Lullaby's being fired out. They're trying to get out of range from the curtain call, and even while they're asleep, Michigu misses. Tower's going to go down, and Inhibitor will be quick to follow, melting to the Granite Siege. Elder's still on them, so Dusty just not willing to compete, not willing to contest, as we are going to go back to this earlier replay as Flaxish surviving.
I mean, Flaxius, the shield from the Sterix comes in clutch, has the gargoyles as well, buys a ton of time. The healing coming out from the Divine Sundra enough, and then he jumps over the wall at the perfect spot, and Sahara just can't chase without slow.
He has fleet footwork as well, so a little bit of healing from there.
True, and I mean, this play, I just want to see this again. I guess he just didn't factor in the Zhonyas, didn't appreciate how close Granite were, saw like the big play situation. But it was just a massive reach from Hoy's that was really costly. It's been a day of Kai'Sa's.
It has been a day of Kai'Sa's. Baron's still on Dusty as the Elder has fallen off. So they're looking to try and do something with it, but they just can't. They just can't go into Granite's face right now. Granite are so strong.
What happens when 2 immovable objects meet each other?
This. They fight at Dragon.
That's it. Very back and forth. Neither team with the buff, so I guess they just wait till the next one spawns.
Yeah, for you guys at home, you got 3 minutes, just under 3 minutes until the next team fight breaks out.
I think put the kettle on.
Yeah, plenty of time to make a cuppa.
Yeah. Go to the toilet. Desperate. To number 1. All right,
watching
Granit.
your phone.
This is crazy. Granit going for the push without the buff available. Essentially just pick up a little bit of gold from the outer tower. Not too much. It's kind of crazy.
It's not important anymore, mate.
We're 700 gold apart this late in the game. Not too much in it. But I mean, there are still, you know, Ornn still needs his last item. Lilia does. Victor does. It's only actually the Jhin who's full build.
Kai'Sa, oh, sorry, on the side of Granit, yeah. Kai'Sa and Syndra also full build. Dusty
I mean,
rocking a fair few items. There's a QSS finished up onto Chelm.
Definitely a good call. Used that before to get out of sleep. Very nifty. But yeah, it looks like we're just chilling. I mean, those crits from the Jhin are just something.
Wow, there's the gold over time. It wasn't a glitch. Look at that. It was It was like a 600, 700 gold lead, I guess, then, over that time, on that little blip in the middle.
I'm assuming it's just like instantaneous in a team fight. Science truly amazes me.
Is that not mathematics and not over science?
Moving on. Granit setting up for this dragon. 30 seconds to go. Baron is a slower respawn, so... Well, actually, he was finished slower, so... Not really a concern right now. And you can see Granit have positioning in the area. Flash is looking to charge up the Mega. Has TP, has Flash. Saw what he is able to do.
The nearest flank ward is miles away. There's actually one in the middle of the lane.
I mean, just go for that one. Just run it down. But if Granit starts charging forwards, he definitely has a good flank ward.
Not anymore. These wards are slowly getting cleared out. There are...
No, he still has it. It just switched the vision.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Do you
That
think...
completely cut me off.
Do you think someone cleared it? Just an invisible person?
Oh, there's sweepers in the game and pink wards and things.
Yes, but no one was near it. And it is a pink ward.
You're correct.
Dusty making the way in. So they're using the Mega Gnar to find positioning, but the problem is they will then not have the Mega Gnar. So now they have to back away with that timing out. Granit should feel a bit more confident to start this one up. Hope coming down onto Legions, but Ocean Soul means not too much of a concern. Big thing to watch here is Tahira and Mishigu. What they can do. If they are untouched, they can decimate this fight. So keep your eyes on them.
Flaxis has to go back to base because there is a wave pushing in and Elder's going to get started. Flaxis doesn't have time to clear out this wave in time, so he's
But
even
that
going to have
flank ward is looking a lot better, by the way.
look for the teleport. That ward is looking a hell of a lot better. Watch Pedersen, needs to land a big Manixhorn. Here is the fight. It's the moment, but the sleep has already gone down, and Chelm has the QSS. Flash is about to come out. Dr. Chaos on that backline. Here's the Hall of the Forge God. Used out by the stopwatch. Half elf onto Dragon. Flaxish gonna get caught out by the gravity field for the moment. He's about to gnaw out, gets the knockback onto Galben. Doesn't actually connect into the stunners. Hoyes looks for Mishigu. Mishigu not gonna die as the knockout comes in, but the resurrect's here for the GA. Chelm needs to try and keep his AD carry alive as Hoyes flashes over the wall now looking for Mishigu, but Mishigu takes him out. Mishigu is still alive. Chelm can't mop it up. Michigan finds a double, and this is Granit just taking over the game. Flaxish this time will be shut down. The teleports are coming in, and Tamos will close the game for Granit.
The summoners were there. Granit are able to keep their carries alive and able to win out the final team fight of the game. Ending this one. Definitely wasn't easy, definitely wasn't quick, but Granit managed to get this 50-minute nail biter in the bag.
Like you said, if it went later, it was going to go in favor of Granit. 49 minutes on the clock. Let's round it up to 50. Granit take the win.
You remember me saying 2 to 3 items? It looked like it went all the way to 6 on that one. Definitely a test there, and Dusty showing that they can put a lot of fight into it, but fortunately just not able to find the victory. The pace was slowed down too much. They didn't get a convincing enough lead. And then Granit in those later team fights, Tahira untouched, Mishigu untouched. Flax just tried his heart out to make the Gnar engage happen, but he couldn't connect. The Gale Force of flashes meant the carries got away and they were just able to decimate.
That was an immortal Jhin. Honestly, that last fight was such an immortal Jhin. And remember, that was the team that didn't have Soul as well. So the team with Soul tried to take that team fight and they didn't actually have the survivability to win that. Honestly, for Granit, fantastic game. I bet they feel proper chuffed with themselves after that because that was a nail biter. That was genuinely a massive nail biter. Honestly, loved it. Every moment. I'm a Granit fan now. I'm such a big Granit fan now.
We're all Granit fans now.
We're all Granit fans. Well, I think it is time for our desks to start flexing some of their knowledge. So we're going to pass it over to Excoundrel, who's going to be flexing his beautiful voice. Over to you, mate.
I like how Jake casually separated me from the knowledge and just added voice instead. Look, we obviously, that was a tough game. Dusty definitely, I think Dusty had that game in their hands, but they kind of threw it several times, realistically. Where, what, why, Gulborg, save this game for me.
Sure. So I actually think Dusty make good work of the priority they have in the early game, and they find some good skirmishes. They play well around the pressure they get in the mid lane, where you get Chelm ahead. He goes in and steals some Raptors. You get the double Scottles. You get 2 Drakes going for you, and it's looking really good for you. But the thing is, with your composition, you cannot drop the bomb or the ball. You need to kind of ride the high that you just get from that early game, and inevitably at the 3rd Drake, that's where it goes wrong for them. The setup for the Drake is not good enough. They had a TP advantage on Flaxius, but they chose not to use it. So all in all, that's where it goes wrong for Dusty.
It was a wild game. That was definitely the most entertaining game of the night, I think, in terms of the swings and roundabouts that we had to move through to actually get a winner. But I actually have got, I believe, Galvin standing by, ready to chat to. So, I mean, first of all, I'm almost exasperated emotionally watching that game, Calvin. It was a pretty crazy game. First of all, like, what was the comms like? What were the comms like for you? How was the end game for you when all that crazy stuff was going on?
Well, the end game was like really insane. Like we all screamed. Like we are like so happy right now because we feel like we can actually make playoffs. Like we came in NLC and like everyone were treating us like we are gonna be like we're like randoms or like T tier. Like they thought we'll go like 0-6, you know, like lose everything. But now we are actually like almost doing playoffs. I'm really happy.
I mean, honestly, from listening to Sahira last week in the interview, he kind of he's a confident bloke, but I wasn't sure if it was a confidence that was reflected across the whole team. But you guys
we are all confident that we can do playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have come through and have been insane. Like we weren't expecting it from Granit. Honestly, I can put my hands up in the air and say I wasn't expecting it from the roster that we had. But you clearly are here to play. What have you guys been working on over the last week to try to improve yourselves and go from strength to strength?
We worked a lot on communication as a team and started speaking to each other like how we should improve ourselves. Like after scrims, you would talk like, "Yo, you did this wrong. You should have done this the other way," and like not in a hateful way, in like a learning way, you know, like for a learning process. And that really helped a lot. Like we started winning more scrims, and it's doing so good. Like we're doing so good right now because of that.
Absolutely, you guys look like you're obviously that was a tense game. Don't get me wrong. I mean, clearly things could have gone a bit smoother. But at the end of the day, I think you played to what your composition was designed to do. Were you playing around the fact that you knew that if you started Baron, if they had to come to you, you knew you'd won the team fight? Is that basically how you were playing that last fight?
Yeah, we saw like Gnar was in base, so we started the Elder, and then like we saw Gnar TP, we engaged on them. And I don't know, they carried the Mishu, played too good. Like his movement was insane last fight, not gonna lie. I think that's like the big reason we won the fight.
Yeah, we were all saying your Jhin was just absolutely insane.
Yeah,
in that last
I don't know how I legit don't know. I was like, okay, he's dead now. Wait, he's still alive? And I don't know.
We were dubbing him the immortal Jhin in that last fight because he was just alive for so long. But honestly, it's what's really nice for me is to see a new team come into the NLC and not get like beaten up. Basically, we were expecting the new teams like Kova have been struggling a little bit, right? But we were expecting Granit maybe to be the same, but Granit absolutely not the case. And I'm really excited to see if you guys can make playoffs and potentially even challenge higher up the ladder. So I'm really excited for the future of Granit in the NLC, and I hope you guys are really proud.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, good. Well, I'll see you soon. Okay, there. Nice to see Galvin, I think it was, chatting to there from the jungle. Okay, so let's take a look at the drawing board. I believe I have Professor Trouble taking us through this one. So Professor Trouble, take the stage.
Yes, sir. So let's give, of course, as always at the start, a little bit of context here. So the TP is coming in, I believe this is Sahira coming into the play. And this is basically a fight where we realize what the entire comp of Granit is made to do. So as you will see in a bit, all the fight will happen inside this circle, and mind you, the ground control that this team has wants Dusty to engage into them onto that choke point, so they try to dissuade them. So if I do play this clip, you will see that slowly but surely Dusty are trying to make their way in there. They don't necessarily have much vision, so the only way is forward. Granit will pull back again, into this choke point that we mentioned, because that's the only way they can control the fight. And from there on out, you see the gravity control is going down, the gravity field is going down, they can't catch them. Jhin opens the ultimate, Seth takes everyone back away, even if they try to get anywhere near. And again, this is a great composition versus anything engaged like, because you basically want them to come to you and then you just chase them away and pick them off one by one. And this was the fight that started turning the scale towards Granit's. I'm trying to find the word. Thank you.
It was in their favor.
Yes.
Turning this
Turning into their favor, basically.
Turning it into their favor. Obviously, we've had some excellent games today. For the most, they kind of went the way the analysts thought. But of course, that first game of the day, that was an interesting one, Gulborg.
That was a banger.
That was a banger, mate. That was a banger. Kova kind of turned the scales on this one.
Absolutely. And I thought from the first blood that Bravado got that, it's just going to be Riddle running away with it. But that was like something just turned inside Tiara, and he just went mid straight after, got 3 kills, went back, and then just got kills in lanes as well. Like, man was a madman.
Obviously, we had the second game of the day, which was the Barrage matchup versus Eminem. This was actually we had a lot of close games today, actually, but it was Barrage that eventually took the win, unfortunately, Trouble.
I think this is the fun of the NLC on the second week. Every single team had time to reassess what went wrong, what they want to get better at, how they want to play the games, who they're playing against, how do their opponents play. And you saw that most of the teams came into this week very well read. They'd done their homework, they had the textbooks, they were playing a much different game than they did in the previous week. And you could see that they knew where the weaknesses and strengths of their opponents lied, and they could actually attack these.
And of course, we just saw this one, Granit versus Dusty. Dusty continuing to struggle in the NLC, and that is continuing to the second week as well. You know, I think there are glimmers of hope for Dusty. There definitely were moments where I felt that they could have won this, but it was Granit that managed to pull out that late game scaling composition. And honestly, it was a really insane game to watch. Let's take a look at the MVP of the day. We've got a new award being given out here, the MVP of the day. And it is Tiara from Kova. Yes, that is. I'm going to let Gulborg explain why Tiara was chosen for our MVP of the day.
Well, so he picked Galio, and I had initially put by Goldberg afterwards, so everyone would know that was because of me, but it was because of those roam timings. It was because he was so confident in team fights, which was something we hadn't seen from Kova. We were used to them just rolling over and dying, but this time he took matters into his own hand, and he did absolutely well on the Galio. When I want to see a Galio, I want to see the kind of Galio that Tiara just displayed tonight.
It was excellent, but I know Trouble. There was a hard-fought contest off stream for the MVP of the day. So
can I do a what's it called?
I'm going to give you
a mention. Okay.
Yeah. Like
okay.
A runner-up award. A runner-up award.
Thomas, you freaking beast. That undying on. I don't care if the Jhin didn't die. This guy was playing in a counter-picked lane. He was playing weak side. He was up in CS. He was beating the Na up. He almost solo killed him. He ended 3-0 and 15 being the frontline and engager of his team, dying 0 times, being included in 18 out of 20 kills of his team. Please. Mic drop.
The Chad on, but he missed out, unfortunately, to Tiara. Okay, so let's have a look at the standings at the end of the day today. We can have a look at Group A and Group B very quickly as we rattle through this. As you can see, we actually only saw Dusty and Granit play today from Group A, and obviously Granit picked up the win, putting them at 2-1 for the time being. Let's take a look over at Group B, where we had the majority of our games on today's schedule. You can see now Fnatic Rising, matching Barrage and Singularity at the top of the table, joint first, 2-1 apiece, with Riddle, Eminem, and Kova all going down 1-2. Very close affair in Group B, though. Like a single win swings things either way for teams in the upcoming games. And of course, speaking of upcoming games, we have tomorrow. I'm just going to double check again. Boomerang Scoundrel. Godsent versus Nordavind. Tricked versus XL, which I think is going to be another banger as well. Nordavind versus Granit. So we'll see Granit play once more tomorrow. And then we'll also go, no, that's a lie. Barrage versus Kova. And also Team Singularity versus Eminem. I read Thursday's games for you by mistake. So a lot of good games coming tomorrow. We'll make sure we dive into them on tomorrow's broadcast, same time, same place. And also, if you're interested in watching more Nordic and UK League of Legends, the Telia Masters is currently going. So you can go and check out the Telia leagues and check out some more up-and-coming talent from our regions. But for now, I'm going to say thank you and good night.